Hello folks, and welcome back to another video. Now today guys, we're gonna kind of change things up a little bit from what I've been doing as of late. Obviously I've been doing a lot of music reactions, but we're gonna kind of go back into the movie realm and talk about the Academy Awards, which is a topic that I've heard some YouTubers talk about a little bit. I just kind of want to address what I hope the Academy Awards do. Now, you may feel like this is a little bit of a premature discussion. However, if we're looking long-term with what we can expect from some of our movie releases this year, it's clear that a lot of our movie releases aren't going to come out until later this year, if not into early next year. And of course, we know that the Academy Awards usually fall in the month of February. So where does that leave the Academy Awards? So this is going to be a pretty laid-back video. I'm just going to kind of discuss what I hope is going to happen with the Academy Awards. I'm going to lay out several different talking points that I've heard some YouTubers bring up as options about what the Academy might do with the awards ceremony, and then talk about which one I hope happens. So let's discuss what could happen. So the first thing that I've heard as a possibility is the awards ceremony being virtual. A virtual awards ceremony would have the Academy Awards keeping their release date and then just doing the awards ceremony virtually. Or maybe they would push it back a little bit depending on the situation. But clearly if they did a virtual setting for an awards ceremony, it would be in a scenario in which they wouldn't be able to put a bunch of people in the same room together. They wouldn't be able to get the celebrities in the same room together and do a conventional awards ceremony for the Oscars or the Golden Globes or whatever it is. A second option is canceling the Academy Awards altogether. And just not having them. Just saying, we're not going to do the Academy Awards for next year. Third option is choosing to push back the Academy Awards. Delaying them, just like we've been doing with all of these movie releases. So let's kind of go 1, 2, 3. I'll talk about each of them, kind of give my thoughts about it. I'll just say that the idea of a virtual award ceremony, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Now, different people may think differently on this. Some people may like the idea of a virtual award ceremony. If you're someone who isn't really into the spectacle, who doesn't really care about listening or watching the performances of the original songs, or listening to the potentially funny but most of the time cringy speeches that the celebrities give, or that the hosts, even though we haven't had an Oscar host for the last couple of years, listening to those speeches. If you don't really care about that, or you aren't just really into it, the idea of a virtual award ceremony may be appealing. Or maybe you do enjoy the spectacle, like I do. I really enjoy the spectacle. And, you like the live musical performances, you like hearing the cringy / sometimes funny speeches, but you're just worried that the alternative is no Academy Awards. I don't think that it will come down to those two options. I don't think it will be virtual or nothing. I think they can definitely, like I mentioned, they can definitely just push back the awards ceremony. I think that's definitely an option. I don't like the idea of a virtual awards ceremony because, yes, the awards are a big part of it. That's what a lot of people watch the Oscars or the Golden Globes or the BAFTAs to see. A lot of people watch those awards to see who wins the respective categories. And that's what I watch them for, obviously. If you've seen my Oscar predictions and you've seen my Best Picture nominees, rankings, and all that stuff, if you've seen that, then you know that I like predicting winners, and of course I'm very interested in seeing who wins these awards, who wins Best Director, who wins Best Actor, who wins Best Picture. I love all of that. But I do think that a big part of what makes the Oscars or whatever awards ceremony entertaining is the spectacle, is the celebrities, is the speeches, is the musical performances. If they chose to go the virtual direction, we wouldn't have that. It would all be online. And I don't know, I mean, and again, obviously they could try their best to make it as close to that as possible while still following under the guidelines. But, you know, again, I mean, whenever, depending on the situation and how quickly it improves or whatever, who knows what the guidelines will be by then? Who knows what the restrictions will be? If they did a virtual Academy Awards ceremony, by then they may be so limited to what they could potentially do with celebrities or with the award ceremony itself. It could be the most boring thing. It could literally just be a person listing off the winners, just like they do when they announce the nominees. And if that's the case, I'm not interested in that. Now, again, if it was like, well, it's either that or nothing, then yeah, obviously I would pick that. I mean, it's better than nothing. Yes, I understand that. I still would like to see the movies get their recognition. I would like to see the movies be celebrated. But I don't think that's their only option. So obviously I've already said that I would hate if they just canceled the awards ceremony altogether. But let's move on to my third potential resolution here. Pushing the awards ceremony back. To me, this is the best option. And this is what I hope that the Academy Awards do. I hope that they just push the awards ceremony back and that they let all of the 2020 movie releases get their release. And who knows how far they would have to push it back to get us there. But some people have talked about, okay, well, what if they just, and again, this goes back to the idea of virtual awards ceremony. Well, what if they just stick to the February release date or whenever it is, and they just nominate the movies that have already come out? And you know, in that situation, depending on if whatever gets put on digital or if whatever gets put on streaming, by then, you know, if we went that direction, it's very possible that the only movies that would be eligible to be nominated are the movies that have already been released, which aren't many. So even if that happened where we had some movies dropped on digital or on streaming, those movies, along with the movies that we've already seen released before the movie theaters closed, if that was our collection of movies to nominate for an Oscar or for a Golden Globe, that's not good. Like, that's not good. We would be leaving so many movies left behind. We'd be leaving the West Side Stories left behind. We'd be leaving the Manx, the Tenants, you know, we'd be leaving so many major award contenders that are supposed to come out later this year behind if we chose to go that direction. So if they just push the awards ceremony back and give all of the movies that are supposed to come out this year time to release, and then of course they push the awards ceremony back to a time where it's safe to put people together for an awards ceremony, then I think that's the best case scenario. That way we get our spectacle. We get everything that we know and love from the Oscars and from these various award ceremonies. Plus we get to do, you know, our predictions and our speculations about who might win. There's so many potentially great movies that are scheduled to come out this year. And I just think that they deserve to be honored the way that so many of the other great movies have in the past, and that is with a traditional awards ceremony. So that is why I hope that the Academy chooses to just delay, push back the awards ceremony, just like we've had to do with all of these other movies. And this is kind of a premature discussion, but I guess I'm just thinking ahead. You know, even if this whole situation that's going on in the world right now does get resolved soon, even then, we're still going to have just this cluster of movies kind of being released around the same time. And it's going to be kind of crazy. And that's best case scenario. Now, if things don't go that way and movie releases start having to transition over into 2021, that may run into the Oscars. or the Golden Globes or whatever. And that's when we have to really start making a decision about, okay, do we do a virtual award ceremony? Do we just cancel these award shows altogether? Or do we push them back and wait until these movies get their release and then go from there? And that is what I hope they do. I hope this is the decision that is made. Ultimately, I hope that the situation gets resolved and that, maybe we can stick to the original release and still have a conventional award ceremony. Obviously, that's what I'm hoping, but I'm just trying to think, okay, if things don't go that way, this is what I hope the Academy does. This is the decision that I hope they make. But in the comment section below, guys, let me know, what decision are you hoping is made in the event that movies do start to kind of creep up on the release of the Academy Awards ceremony? What decision do you hope the Academy makes? But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you are new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button. I recently changed my channel's name to Nathan Talks Movies and Music because I've lately been, putting more music content in there. I've been doing music reactions on a pretty consistent basis here. I'm kind of trying to do a mix of both. Obviously, with everything that's going on, there's not a lot of movie news, not a lot of movie content. So I've just kind of been trying out and experimenting with other things, and you guys seem to be really enjoying that music content. So if movie and music content sounds like your cup of tea, then this is the place to be, so please hit that subscribe button. But anyways, guys, that is it for me. As always, keep talking about movies and music.